Come in.
Hi, Mrs. Clay. My name is Casey. I'm one of the student nurses, and I'm going to be doing your discharge teaching today. Is now a good time to go over everything with you?
Sure.
Okay. So, I have a packet here full of a bunch of information since I know you are a first-time mom, and I'm just going to go over some of the things in there with you, as well as some of the things to look out for when you go home with baby. First things first is things that we need to do if you need to go to the emergency room, all of those signs. So if your baby gets a temperature 100.4 or higher, if you notice they've changed colors, like whole body has turned blue or really yellow, if you develop a fever, or if any of your pain is not being controlled by your medication, I want you to go straight to the ER to get some help, okay? The next one is when to call your pediatrician. So if baby has a temperature but it's less than that 100.4, go ahead and call your doctor. That way they can get seen, we can figure out what's going on. And honestly, if you have any questions or concerns, that's what they're there for. They are more than happy to answer anything that you need. Do you have a pediatrician already?
Yeah, we've got mine.
Okay, perfect. Just in case, we also have a list of pediatricians in here as well, but if you've already found somebody you're comfortable with, I would stick with them. Where is baby going to be sleeping when you leave?
We'll have a porta crib in our room so that we can keep an eye on them and everything whenever we're in the same room. And plus, just makes it easier for nighttime feedings.
Okay, that's perfect. We don't want you to share a bed with baby. It's safer sleeping practice to have them in a separate bed. Just whenever you do, make sure the bed is empty, there's no pillows, no blankets, no stuffed animals, and we want them sleeping on their back. That is the safest position for baby to sleep in. Are you breastfeeding or bottle feeding?
Breastfeed.
Okay, so in here I have a nice little log showing what time baby eats, what side the baby last ate on. Then you can also track their sleep, when you last changed their diaper. Just because I know those first few days are really hectic when you're starting to get settled into a routine, so this just kind of helps you keep everything on track. If you develop any breast pain or tenderness, sometimes that's normal, but if it feels weird, go ahead and call your OBGYN. They can give you tips and tricks to help with any of that pain, or let you know if it is something that you need to come in for. So like if you see it's really red or there's any like streaking, they're gonna want to get you seen, so just keep an eye out for that. With that, also, baby's gonna be eating about 8 to 12 times a day since you're breastfeeding. Just look out for some of those hunger cues. You'll see, the lip smacking, all that good stuff. And then with that, you're gonna wanna change the diaper before feeding. It does kind of help wake them up, which makes it easier for them to feed. And plus that way you can also count, oh, I fed the baby 9 times yesterday, 9 wet diapers. It makes it easier to keep everything trackable. The umbilical cord will fall off within the next week or so. You don't need to do anything really, just keep it dry. Make sure the diaper's not rubbing on it. So one of the things we say is to take the diaper and fold the top part down a little bit. That way it's not rubbing on the stump. And just regular water during bath time, no soap, no harsh chemicals. It'll do what it needs to do on its own. When it does fall off, don't freak out. It kind of feels like a hard pebble. You can just toss that. Afterwards, if you notice any redness or weird looking drainage, call the pediatrician. They'll be able to say if there's anything you need to do. For bathing, One of the main things we want you to remember is have all of your supplies ready beforehand. That way you're not having to turn your back on the baby or try to figure out what's going on. You have everything where you need, and make sure the room is nice and warm before you bathe baby. Babies like to lose heat very easily, so by having the room warmer, they lose a little bit less heat. And another thing that you can do as well is keep like a little washcloth or a small bathing towel over top of them while you bathe their head, and that'll help keep the heat in as well. You have your car seat, correct?
Yes.
And the base is already installed?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any questions about how to position baby in the car seat, or anything in general that you want to ask about that?
Nah. This is my first time. So.
Okay. Well, we just like to make sure, keep them rear facing as long as possible, nice and snug, no jackets underneath, all that good stuff. So since this isn't your first, you already know babies are kind of odd, for lack of a better term. You're going to see all that extra sneezing. You're going to see the weird breathing patterns and the hiccups. That's all completely normal baby behavior. The only time we want you to get concerned and call the doctor or go to the hospital is if they stop breathing for more than 20 seconds. The other thing that we have in here as well is something not a lot of people like to talk about. However, it is very important. It is information about postpartum baby blues and versus postpartum depression. So, new baby thrown into the mix, it does make things a little bit harder for moms. It is normal to feel overwhelmed. You need to be able to lean on your partner at home. Are you able to do that?
Yes.
Okay, and do you have any other support that's going to be coming in to help you?
My parents and the in-laws will be down for a short period of time.
Okay, that's awesome. Don't be afraid to lean on them. If you do feel yourself getting more than just overwhelmed, if you aren't able to really stop crying throughout the day, like if you start to feel super down, or most importantly, if you start having ideas of harming yourself or harming the baby or anybody else in your family really, we want you to reach out not just to your OBGYN but to a mental health line. We do have a phone number in here for you, just because it is very important, not just for baby but for you, because you also have to take care of yourself. And, everybody talks about how baby comes first. Well, mom also has to come first, because if mom's not feeling 100%, then how can we expect you to take care of baby? So I want you to look out for any of those signs, and like I said, really just lean on your partner. If you need the dishes done, but you're too daggone tired because you were up all night feeding the baby, say something, okay? Do you have your newborn appointment made already for your baby with the pediatrician?
Yes, I believe they already gave us that date and everything. My husband should have it. He was there whenever it happened.
Okay, cool. Just make sure it's within the first 48 to 72 hours. That way baby gets checked out, establish his routine, all that good stuff. They can talk to you more about vaccines. I know we already gave the vitamin K and the Hep B shot here. They can explain more about further vaccinations at your pediatrician's appointment. Now I know you had a vaginal delivery, so you are going to experience some bleeding for a while. It's one of the curses of not having a menstrual cycle for 9 months. We get it all in one go. If you start to soak through a pad in 15-30 minutes, if you notice clots bigger than the size of a quarter, or you start to feel like you have the flu, that body ache, fever, chill type of thing, I want you to call your OB. But if you feel really bad, I want you to go straight to the ER, okay? So just keep an eye on that. It will start to slow down as time goes on, but first few weeks are kind of a little rough. Don't forget to ice Don't forget your Tux pads for any relief, and then Tylenol and Advil as needed. I know you are going home with prescription pain medication. That also is as needed. With that though, there is a very high risk of constipation. So I want you to take a stool softener that's also being sent home with you, and drink plenty of water. That's not only going to help keep you hydrated, but it's going to help move everything along. You're also going to want to increase your fiber a bit, especially since you're on opioids. They're a pain in the butt, but they work. So if you don't have any questions for me, I can give you everything. If you do, I'm more than happy to answer anything.
No, I think we're okay.
Okay, do you mind telling me some of the highlights that I've hit for you, or?
Making sure there's no weird coloration for the baby in the next couple of days. Make sure that he sleeps on his back whenever he's in the crib in our room. Kind of going over feeding schedule, which we've been through that before, so we're well aware of how often it happens. Taking care of the umbilical cord, making sure it doesn't get wet and stuff, making sure the diaper is folded down so it doesn't get in the way. Bath time, just water, making sure that we have everything we need there so we're not leaving them alone or turning our back on them. Talking about postpartum blues and depression, what to expect with that, who to reach out to. Talking about the medication that I'm on, make sure that I'm intaking lots of fiber and stuff to help things move along. Because of the vaginal delivery, making sure that, keeping an eye out, making sure I'm not bleeding too much in a 15-30 minute period, watching for big clots. Kind of things to expect with that. I think that's most of the high points that I remember off the top of my head, but you said the rest is in that packet, correct?
Yeah, and actually one of the cool things about this is that we have a whole booklet here for you, and included are even some QR codes that you can scan. So like right here for diapering, it can give you some tips and tricks. So that way, if you are a better visual learner, it kind of helps you follow along with things. And if you do have any questions, like I said, when you get home, if you have any, call your pediatrician, your OBGYN, they're more than happy to give you any answers or help you out with anything you need.
Sounds good. And then I know that they'll probably go over more during the follow-up appointment in a couple of days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then one last thing, you do have a follow-up with your OBGYN in 6 weeks, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then if you have any other questions or any complications, like I said, give them a call early. They're more than happy to help. I'm gonna leave this here with you. And then nurse should be in later with your discharge paperwork so we can get you sent home with baby.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, you have a nice day.
You as well.